Welcome back. Dr. Janet Cox is a clinical psychologist with 29 years of helping those with substance use disorders under her belt, and you're attacking addiction in a whole new way. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I think it's interesting you say substance use.
Yes.
Not abuse.
Not abuse.
What is the difference?
Well, in recent years, we have tried to change the terminology that is used around substance use to take away any of the stigma that might be related by the terminology that we use.
Because it's interesting. I changed some of the script and I realized, no, that's what Dr. Janet wanted.
Yes.
So what are we seeing? Some tips. How can you tell us if a loved one has a substance use problem?
Well, many times the symptoms would depend on the drug being used, okay, or the substance being used. There are many times symptoms behaviorally, physically, and psychologically.
For alcohol, what would you say?
For alcohol, I would say that the person physically might become more uncoordinated. They might begin to slur their words. They might be sleeping more than typical. And some of their behavior might become more secretive. They might be hiding the alcohol use, perhaps getting home late than normal. In terms of behavioral, perhaps change in appetite, sleep problems, etc. And psychologically, a lot of more mood swings, irritability. They may have some personality changes, begin to be late for work, not keeping appointments, etc.
Okay, and then what is the likelihood of childhood trauma involved with this?
Well, actually, there was a study done in the 90s between the CDC and Kaiser Permanente, and this was focusing on adverse childhood experiences. And they came up with 10 experiences that a child might experience during childhood. And if a person has a score of 4 of any of these 10, then they are 7 times more likely to develop alcoholism.
Wow. And do we look at substance abuse problems as well in drugs? Different symptoms, different signs?
Well, actually, I consider alcohol to be a drug as well.
Okay.
So, for example, if someone is taking cocaine, then they will, it is a stimulant, so they will be sleeping a lot less, they will have a lot more energy, and they also then have what is the cocaine crash, which is then they will come down very hard and need to sleep. They many times will have weight loss because it is a stimulant.
Now, how do you intervene, though? If they're not ready to help themselves, how do you intervene?
Well, first of all, the person does need to be able to help themselves, but many times the people around that person that has the addiction is also very much caught up in that web of addiction. And I would suggest starting, first of all, from a very loving, non-judgmental place. Addiction is a brain disease. So after a certain period of time of using a particular substance, it is no longer a choice because there's actual structural changes that take place in the brain. So coming from a loving place, letting that person know that you are there for them, you know, speak out, do say something, don't just keep the secret. Do say, I suspect something, I'm here to help you. But at the same time, that loved one needs to take care of themselves.
Talk about the Synapse system.
The Synapse system is an intensive outpatient program. It's located in Buckhead. It's been around for a little over 3 years now. And in fact, what the intensive outpatient program, it was the first of its kind nationally.
Wow.
We're focused on brain health, and many of our treatment modalities are in fact geared towards making for a healthier brain.
Which is the big part of getting back together and getting back on your feet.
Absolutely. Our brain is the supercomputer of everything that we do. It affects all of our behaviors, our thoughts, and our emotions. So it's very important to have a healthy brain.
Dr. Janet Cox, thank you so much for talking with us about this. This is something we could talk about for hours as well.
Absolutely.
Stay with us. We're going to move on to superfoods that help to make you super healthy. We'll be right back.